Hey everyone, it is Josh here for draftmagic.com. We're doing some more Dark Ascension drafts, and first pick, I think the easy pick, is Deranged Outcast. Other cards are like Immerwolf, which is not even better and more committal. Ravenous Demon, which is okay, but I don't think it's better. Um, Professor Recluse is the other green card here, and really there's not much else. It's like, he's okay. Uh, pretty, pretty straightforward pick. Alright, so next, what do we have? We've got another Immerwolf. I do like green-red aggro. I just did pass an Immerwolf, though. I also like self-mill, and I know that's no secret, but I do like to keep myself open to it, though I have been green-red base before. Other options are Scorn Villagers, which just keeps us green. Niblis of the Urn, since this guy's probably at his best in green-white, and that would be a good entry into green-white. Um, I mean, is Scorn Villagers way worse than everything else here? I mean, it's worse than like Rack also. I could just take Immerwolf and see where that takes me. I'm going to take the Scorn Villager, so I know my draft style. Oh god. Another Immerwolf? We're just taking Towergeist. Screw you. Someone's going to have the triple Immerwolf deck. But Towergeist uh, is very good as well. And it fits the archetypes that I like to draft a little bit better. Though, if I'm going to be aggro, I think green-red is probably my favorite of the aggressive decks right now, just because it gets more tools that um, late than the other ones seem to get, at least more consistently. The big one being the trample flashback spell, which seems to just table for I don't even know why. I mean, I'd even like splash the flashback half of it. Um, Here, what do we have? Uh, yeah, not the greatest pack. We can take uh, Dryad as just a random green creature. I'm not a big fan of Bone to Ash in most of my decks. I guess I take the Burning Oil. Not. I mean, after passing 3 Immerwolves, taking the Burning Oil. I like Burning Oil a lot, actually. Um, I mean, it's not the ideal pick to make here, but because it's perfectly good. Oh god, I'm getting punished for not jumping on those Immerwolves. I think I take this Fireheart Wolf and just cut my losses. Jeez, I'm gonna get cut pack 2, but it's certainly open for pack 3. Just like green red's not that good in Innistrad. It's you want to get your main tools in Dark Ascension. I could just continue with the green blue plan and take a Screeching Scab here. Just passing some of them completely nuts. Uh, Notice I'm taking Screeching Scab over Soul Caesar. It's actually close. I mean, Screeching Scab's not insane, but I do like to fill out the early part of my curve, especially in self-mill. I like Screeching Scab a lot. Like trade with her 2-drop and mill 2. I'm just gonna commit. Man, Fireheart Wolf is quite good, but we've been getting some okay cards for our green blue self mill. Here's the Recluse. This Fires of Undeath. Man, red is just wide open, but green's been open too, and blue's been reasonably open. That was a relatively late tower, guys. I think we're okay. We're okay with the path we took. I mean, if I had 3 Wolves in my pile and continued to take those green-red cards, I would have a pretty ridiculous opening. But I don't know if that's the consistent route to take. Like when you take those, like something like Immerwolf first pick, second pick, you're really putting yourself at mercy at the mercy of your neighbors. You're committing to an archetype very early. Not that I'm not committing to this archetype semi-blindly, but here I'm just taking the divination. I'm not a huge fan of divination. I find myself cutting it often in self-mill decks. Same thing with Thought Scour actually, just because you only have limited space. But I mean, I'll take them out of empty packs. So hopefully we get a payoff for being self-mill, because we missed the boat on the green-red. I mean, I guess the pick. I took the Scorned Villagers. Could have easily just taken that Immerwolf, and then it would have been easy from there. I would have taken the next Immerwolf. I mean, Deranged Outcast was easily the pick over Immerwolf in pack 1. But um, maybe this was a little bit too safe. I've passed enough good cards already. Well, this card's not great, but playable at least. My neighbor got the picture red was open. I don't think I need to confirm it by giving him a 14th pick play hole. So, I mean, it's an okay start to green-blue. I didn't get any Tracker's Instinct, which is one of the cards I'd like the most, but here this is a good pack for us. We're almost for sure wheeling something good. Take the Murder of Crows, since it's still possible that self-mill doesn't come together, and this is just the best either way. I'm hoping to wheel, well, really, I mean, anything would be fine. Any of these 4 would be fine. I'm not a huge fan of Guttergram, though. But yeah, any of these 4 would be just fine. Here, easily Civilized Scholar. And I think there's the Drown Yard, which is good, but I think I'd like to stick to the regular plan for now, and then here I can wheel maybe Memory's Journey, Boneyard Worm. Even the Drown Yard could come back. There's also Lantern Spirit. These are good packs for us, because very likely to wheel something in here. It's easily the Armored Scab. It's a good-looking Inquisitor and Rage Thrower and Bonds. Wow, some good cards in this pack, but Armored Scab's pretty close to the nuts for self-mill, though we don't have anything to reward us for milling ourselves quite yet. Well, hopefully we find one. Here, Armored Scab. I think at least I should expect possibly 2 Boneyard Worms back. And I don't have a problem, like, sometimes you don't get the spider spawnings and whatever, but I mean, I'm of the opinion that green-blue just beatdown is perfectly fine. Get those powered up Boneyard Worms and hopefully a few bounce spells. And then, if we're lucky enough to find a spider spawning and not a bone, the deck is pretty close to unbeatable. Here, nothing really for me. I'll take the Sulphur Falls over Naturalize, since I do have a Burning Oil that maybe I can splash, and maybe I find something more exciting to splash later on. I tend to take, whenever I'm drafting green-blue, I tend to take dual lands or fixers over marginally playables. Travel Preps is at least a little bit interesting. Think Twice is pretty more. It's another card I cut often enough, unless I have some sort of flashback theme like Burning Vengeance, or if I have like a Laboratory Maniac, I like to have a Think Twice. But I think I'm actually gonna take the Travel Preps. If I wanted, I mean, I don't know if I'm splashing white at this point, but if I wanted to splash white, then might be some nice value out of my graveyard. Alright, so we got the Mulch and the Boneyard Worm back. I think I actually take the Boneyard. This is close. I mean, Mulch is really, really good, but I don't have anything to really reward me for milling myself at this point, and I think maybe just taking Boneyard Worm is fine. I'm happy to see Mulch's wheeling. So like the two self mill, the other the good the solid green, solid blue, like it was. I'm taking Boneyard Worm. It was we'll take the Apprentice. It was the 3/2 flyer, and there's another Boneyard Worm. That's sweet. Over Memory's Journey pretty easily, I think. I think we're right now, at least if things don't fully work out, we're sort of just the beatdown self mill deck. Um, but yeah, it was the Moon Heron and the 2/3 Werewolf, and those were taken while Mulch and Boneyard Worm were still there. So that means that at least we're very likely the only ones in self mill. So if a spider spawning gets opened, well, maybe there's a good chance we grab it. That it's going to come to us. If I was milling myself a little bit more, I'm not like super dense on milling. There's an argument to take Memory's Journey over a Boneyard Worm, but I'm not like I don't have a critical mass of self mill yet, where I'm at the point where I can expect to just get like sometimes when you don't even when you don't get the spider spawning, just getting like ooh man, some good cards here. Nothing terrific for our archetype, but um, this is interesting. There's a Geist Honored Monk, which is totally insane, and there's a Brimstone Volley, which is the safer pick. It keeps me in green blue. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do here. I'm not looking to splash double white for Geist Honored Monk, even though I have the travel preps here. Like I could actually even abandon white, but then like Boneyard Rooms are pretty horrible, and yeah, I think just the Brimstone Volley. We've got the Sulphur Falls, and yeah, I think that's. Like I'm not. Stitch Drake would be fine in this deck actually, but I'd still like to just. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Brimstone Volley here almost for sure. So with the Sulphur Falls, just take another Brimstone Volley, I suppose. Uh, Be nice to get the Clifftop Retreat so I can flashback Brooding Wheel, get that on the splash too. Although that's a lot of splashing. And there's a Sparta Swing. That's pretty sweet. So now we just completely just go. We have all the tools, so we really just we favor. We have the Knot of the Bone. We have the Spider Spawning. Now we just favor self mill over just about anything. But I mean, like, had I not gotten the Spider Spawning, I think we still had a solid backup plan. Our deck was still looking okay. Just green, blue, splash, red, self mill. Could use a few more fixers. Definitely taking this Shimmering Grotto here. I'm not in emergency mode where I need a Dream Twist. Though I would like to pick up, like now maybe I'm missing on that Mulch. Hopefully we see another enabler before this pack is done. I mean, I don't think there's anyone else in the archetype, so yeah, there's our Mulch. So we're looking pretty good now. And and there's no question in my mind when this archetype comes together, it's far and away better than any other archetype, capable of winning far more consistently. Um, what do I want here? I still don't think I need a Dream Twist. Though I'm not knowing myself to the point where I definitely want a Memory's Journey. Creature-wise, I'm okay. Maybe I just take the Caravan Vigil here. And I think I want to play these Brimstone Volleys, so... Oops. Yeah. I could take the Memory's Journey as like just as a backup plan. It's especially nice against like a mill deck to give yourself an extra turn or two. Uh, don't really want to makeshift Mauler. Let's have the Spider Spawning. Could take take a Ranger's Guile. Could take another Caravan Vigil. Not super necessary. I could take a Bell. I think I'm okay on the milling myself, though. I've got Mulch, Screeching Scab, 2 Armored Scabs, and Tower Guys. So, I have the Thought Scours I could play. I may not have room for. Alright, I'm going to take the Bell. And just, well, I kind of want this second Vigil, but I'm going to take the Bell. I might find myself a little short here. Probably take this Harvest Pyre over the Stitch Drake. I mean, Stitch Drake Wheeling is pretty sweet, but I mean, if I've said it before, this is the only guy I'd be willing to run in a deck that has Spider Spawning and Not of the Bone. Just because he's the only one who the drawback makes up for the cost. But you know what? I think just taking another Harvest Pyre here might be fun. Here, I'll take the Occultist over Dissipates. Yeah. Don't really want to play against Curse, and I don't really think I need a Fortress Grab in this deck. I have 2 Armored Scabs. I have plenty of them. This guy can play defense. I have better defense in this deck. Now there's the Dream Twist in case I need it. Coming back. Yeah, I mean, you'd think that like dedicated mill decks are reasonable matchups for self mill. And depending on what you end up in your self mill deck, that could be true. But the really fast, like the really all out mill decks are often pretty tough, because if you don't get that, they can actually kill you before you even get to 7 mana to flash back the Spider Spawning to really punish them for milling you. And yeah, they're tough. Sometimes like the best mill decks are pretty tough matchups for. So that, like, you might find it weird that I hate Draft a Curse of the Bloody Tomes, but sometimes they can be pretty tough matchups. So I'm not sure if I'm playing the Dream Twist or the Thought Scours. Depends on how much room I have. Cards that we're definitely playing are these and Mulch. These are maybes. Actually, all of these cards are maybes, but I mean, I'd like to play Harvest Pyre. Definitely in, and almost for sure splashing the Brimstone Volleys. It's possible I should have taken this second Caravan Vigil, but well, I think we'll be okay. I think I like having the one big fat guy. And alright, so I don't think I need a Grim Flowering. So let's see what we're missing. We have 15 creatures, which is enough, but we might want one more. I just want to take a look at our enablers here. So Mulch, Scab, Cultist, Civilized Scholar, not really gonna count. Tower Guys, Murder of Crows, not so much gonna count either. So I think I might just want one more, and I'll go with Dream Twist here. I like the one shot over the one shot big mill over the Ghoul Close Bell. This can also act as a trick with like 2 Boneyard Worms in the deck. It could be a decent trick. Beyond that, the question is, do I add? I don't think I'm going to add Burning Oil, even though I do have a Shimmering Grotto to flash it back off of. And that's actually, like, Shimmering Grotto is the big reason why I actually really like Burning Oil. Like, I think it's better than most of the other red removals. So just like 2 mana for the spell to begin with is it's pretty efficient, and like when you compare it to with Rack of Madness, and while it doesn't get like utility creatures, Rack of Madness misses those utility creatures too. Where Rack of Madness is better against giant fatties, but I mean the possibility of flashing it back, even if you're not red-white, which you rarely are, let's be honest, but even if you're not red-white, like the possibility of flashing back if you just pick up 1 Grotto, or if you end up 2 colors and can easily splash that like a Plains or 2 with whatever fixers, Um, there's a lot of upside in this card. I tend to take it over things like Rack of Madness, and even the red black flashback, just because this is so much more efficient. And a lot of the time you're just killing things in combat anyway, like things that want to do combat anyway in this format. When you're playing a normal deck, I'm not. I don't tend to play normal decks, but anyway. Okay, so I think I just might want to take the Harvest Pyre. I don't have any bounce, so which is unfortunate. So there's a need for that, maybe a need for that extra removal spell, and lastly, I might want to just play. I play 16 lands a lot in these decks, but here I'm relying, even with the Sulphur Falls and the Shimmering Grotto, I have a bit of a reliance on red. I only have the one mulch. I may have preferred the extra mulch over the extra Boneyard Worm. Not sure. I mean, I wouldn't mind squeezing a Thought Scour or a 16th creature into the deck. I don't really think I have room for divination, though. Without the Harvest Pyre, I'd definitely play Burning Oil. But I don't think I need a fourth. It's definitely worse than any of these three. Yeah. Let's see. What would my mana look like right now? I mean, my mana is decent. I have almost no double mana symbols at least. I'm mostly green. Well, that's not necessarily true. I just have all my blue cards down here. I mean, beat down pretty well. I mean, this actually looks like a pretty sweet deck. I think I might just play 17 lands here. Let's see what they... Oh wait, let's get Sulphur Falls in and Shimmering Grotto. Actually might be able to get it with just a swamp. I think I'm less reliant than I normally am on flashing back to spider spawning, so if I mill my only swamp and my grotto, then it's not the total end of the world. I've got a decent plan B in just beating down. I've lost track of what was going on here. So 7, I need 1 swamp at least. 3 mountains, maybe not. I can probably go down to 2 here. So 7/5 is what they're saying. I mean, I definitely need green early. Going 6/5/2/2 would be quite greedy, though. This is another. I have another blue source in the Sulphur Falls. So can I? I mean, I can possibly go to 4 islands. That's 5 and 6. I don't need the blue super early, though I'm definitely relying on the blue to actually mill myself. I have the Caravan Vigil and the Mulch to help too. I mean, aside from Murder of Crows, I only need the 1 island. I'm just trying to see if I could squeeze in another swamp. Does this add up? Yeah, this adds up. So I'm thinking it might not be worth it. Just because losing consistency in my mana base makes my beatdown plan worse. But then having that extra swamp makes my long game much better. It gives me much easier access to the inevitability of spider spawning. I don't think the mana is horrible like this. It would be a little bit better. It would be a little bit better with that extra island over the swamp. It just makes spider spawning worse. So, like just to explain, and I'll try to do it very quickly. The reason I'm so keen on having the extra swamp is a lot of the time when you're playing this style deck, um, you can't afford to hold back on your milling. You need to just mill, and then finally hit your spider spawning to recover. And usually that has to happen like on some sort of a curve for the deck to really be able to consistently beat most draws from most other decks. And the problem is if your first mills like your only swamp or your shimmering grotto, and you only have one more source, it means that there's a point where it may not be correct to continue milling because you lose your inevitability if you ever mill that next swamp, especially if spider spawning is not in your hand. If spider spawning is in your hand, you can be free to continue, but at some point it sort of just makes it so there's a decision: do I continue milling as much as possible or not? And that's why I like to have that sort of third black source, so that happens less often. It could still happen. Like I could still on my first armored scab lose two of my three sources, but it's less likely than when you only have two sources. So I think I'm going to go with this, and that's the reason. And we'll see if we get punished for slightly greedy on the mana. Still I think it's a very powerful deck.